Barbarian is arguably the... No. Barbarian is the most miserable class to level, but it has a perk. Once you get there, you suffer like I did, like every single Barbarian did, to the end game. Level 60 Ancestral Gear, the game opens up like no other class in the game. With that, we have arguably, and I will say that, I mean, I do have all the other classes, but we'll just say arguably for the sake of this video, the most fun, unique in the entire game. What am I talking about? I am talking about Ghors. Ghors was something that was nerfed to become kind of mediocre, but we have a setup here today for a tactical nuke Ghors build. It's so much fun to play, it really is. Seeing huge numbers, the setup's so simple. It's with the no bleed Whirwind build already here, and I don't even have a high roll on this. 20% out of 26, you might be thinking, what's 6%? A lot with the amount of multiplicative damage we do have here. So this was nerfed to the ground. It was doing like hundreds of millions of damage, maybe even a billion. I'm not quite sure what the numbers were in the early access, but it was way too strong. So will this get nerfed again from this video? Probably not. Honestly, probably not. It's really good, but I don't know. Like, we're not doing like 100 million damage. I mean, Blizzard doesn't like fun, and this is so much fun, so let's just get into it. Let me show you what I'm talking about and enjoy. What up, Barbarians? It is Murderinc. Like I said, we're talking about Ghors here with the no bleed Whirwind build. What build? Definitely check out my video if you haven't already. It's using a bludgeon weapon with the Whirwind skill, and we're talking about Ghors, and we're pairing it with this Earthquake legendary. Now, unfortunately, if you see in the bottom of the screen here, my roll isn't ideal. It is very far from ideal, 12% out of 15%, so we're losing a bit of damage here, but we make do with what we have. I haven't seen a 15% yet, and I've seen a max roll of pretty much every other aspect of the game, but we're going to work with what we have here. So we have Ground Stomp, we use it, we start spinning. Within those 4 seconds, we unleash monstrous Ghors Devastating Grips, and as we can see here, explodes after it ends, dealing 20% in my case of the total base damage out to surrounding enemies as fire damage. Would you scale fire damage? No. Probably not. I mean, how would you? I don't know. I haven't even looked into it, but it's fine as it is. So as far as Ghors, this is probably going to be anyone who's using this build's like ideal dream drop here. It's pretty annoying. I actually haven't seen a second one. I know players have gotten quite a few of them, but I have not seen a second Ghors drop for me personally. So I do understand the frustration and the struggle for sure for getting anything fun to drop in this game. Can be annoying, but stick with it, keep grinding, and eventually you will in fact get it. Is that copium? Possibly, but we're here to be positive and think positive. So what we're going to do is we're going to head into Champions Demise, show you how this works. So if you do get Ghors, which is going to be your goal if you have this on your way to level 100, if you plan on going to 100, you can hit some huge numbers. And listen, big numbers are always fun. There's no one that's going to deny that big numbers are not always fun to see, which is why many players as of right now are playing Hammer of the Ancients, which, as we can see from my XP bar, I'm pretty close to 100, so it might be time to start thinking about what is my next build. If you want to see a build specifically, for sure leave a comment on what you think would be interesting, and I will consider when I hit 100 to change things up from the Whirlwind speed farm build that I've been playing like literally forever. I think I made the no bleed version, I don't know, 64, which definitely was a while ago. That's what I get for taking my hands off the keyboard. Okay, here we go. Back to what I was doing. Oh, we just spawned right at Champions. Beautiful. Listen, that was scripted. The death was totally part of the video. All right, so here we are in Champions Demise. Now we have to find a pack, round them up, pop the cooldowns, stun them, spin for like 3 seconds, and boom. Absolute tactical nuke. All right, so here we are. We are going to round up as many of these lads as we can here. Here we go. Pop the cooldowns, stun, spin, and let go. couldn't quite see. I don't know if that was a 13 million or if it was just a 1 million and it didn't quite proc there. There we saw a 2.8 million and we were spinning for like 2 seconds. So outside of the big boom, there's one thing that's definitely worth noting. For this, you kind of just stun, wait for the bars to go blue, that means they are vulnerable, and then just let go. If it happens after 1 second or 2 seconds, it doesn't really matter here, but I noticed a lot of players saying, why is my Ghors doing negative damage? Now, if you're playing the bleed build, I would understand that, because from what I've seen, it doesn't scale as well from the bleeds as far as when compared to front-loaded damage here. So let's go ahead. Ooh, a treasure goblin. Ooh. Oh, I shouldn't have spun there. Okay. We stunned, we spin, we let go. And as we can see, even from those numbers, the issue with this is I probably should have done this in a nightmare dungeon instead of trying to invite people. Shout out to the people who are sitting in the party, by the way. To just scale up Champion's Demise. Definitely not working out as good as I had hoped, but there is still hope. Yeah, see, unfortunately, my Whirlwinds are actually killing them, so I probably should have got one more person to make it 4-man, or just went into a Nightmare Dungeon. The Nightmare Dungeon was probably the play, now that I think about it, but I'm determined to make this setup work at least once. Here we go. Yeah, so again, I'm just killing them. We're going to get one good clip for the thumbnail for sure. All right, here we go. Here's a big pack here. We're going to pop our cooldowns. Let's go ahead, stun, spin, vulnerable somebody, let go. Okay, again, we're just killing them way too fast with this. And kind of like I mentioned before, and I will show it one more time in this, another really viable way to use this is to spin for a little bit and let go. As we can see, we're doing in the millions by just spinning very quickly and then letting go. Okay, stun, spin, get rid of this, let go, spin, let go, spin. I mean, you guys get it. I mean, I feel and sound so monotonous saying it like that, but we're here to get those big numbers. Okay, so there was 4 million and what? We spun for like, I don't know, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and we didn't have Wrath of the Berserker up, so as you can see, this scales quite hard if you can get the mobs to be tanky enough. So now we have all of our cooldowns. Let's go for one last attempt, and let's pray we don't just simply one-shot. Okay, we didn't even crit there. Alright, so here we are for the tactical nuke. We have about 4 seconds left on Wrath of the Berserker. So we're going to pop our cooldowns here.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Add on the damage immune and let go. 8.9 million damage. That's what I'm talking about. And we're not sitting here spinning for an hour. This is all within 4 seconds. That's what I like to see. So as you guys can see, whether you're pulling a major pack, like a major pack, and letting it ramp for the full duration, or you just want to kind of do what I'm doing here, spin, let go, spin, let go, it all works very well. It's a ton of fun to play, and I've seen many comments about this, and you guys are totally right. Whirwind is kind of boring. How do you make it not boring? Get this legendary unique and just start blasting any content you want. It's the perfect speed farming build. There's no denying it is the perfect speed farming build. So as far as the slot goes, I'm kind of curious as far as where I would actually put this, or if I could in fact put it on the neck to squeeze out even more damage from it. If I can, I mean, at the moment the highest damage numbers I've seen are about 12 million damage, but that's of course very dependent on the amount of targets I have here. And of course, I have to be doing content that survives long enough to actually build up and nuke them. This content's a bit easy, although these champions do have the damage aura. So let's see if I can pull something kind of clever here. Okay, we're scaling, bam. No, that one wasn't that big, just like 2 million. Then again, you don't really know. I mean, even that one was 2 million and the earthquake had already fallen off here. So there's a pretty large variance based on how many times you're in fact critting, or you just see. The only thing that's bad about this, and I'm going to mention the downside to this, is sometimes your last whirlwind tick will just kill the target and then the explosion happens into nothing. And I've seen this before. A lot of people who do have Ghors, they use it, they spin, they kill the pack, and then they let go of their whirlwind and they're like, why is my Ghors doing no damage? Why do you think your Ghors is doing no damage? You're killing the mobs, then letting go of Whirlwind, and it's just not working. So one other final point for this video, as fun as I'm having right now, if you don't know this already, there is a snapshotting effect to Whirlwind. So if you are spinning like this, and then okay, hold on. I need to get Fury first. All right, hit me. Hit me. Of course, I picked the mob with like negative attack speed. Okay, stun, a little bit toxic. Okay, so now I have full Fury. So if you're spinning like this and you use your, well, that was not a good example because I interrupted my shout there, but if you're spinning and then you pop your buffs, you're not going to get the effects of the buffs. Another example of kind of bad design, but we can make it work. So a huge tip here, if you are a Whirlwind enjoyer and you do or do not have Ghors, if it's just something you're planning on getting down the line, don't use any of your shouts or buff. I mean, obviously you can't use your Earthquake while you're doing this, but any buff prior is going to snapshot into your spin, and then it will expire by the time you let go and release 4 Ghors. So if you get the perfect example is going to be the shrine that is called Channeling Shrine. If you have the Channeling Shrine and you're going around spinning and then popping your buffs like this, you're not going to get the effect unless you're using something like Wrath of the Berserker, which stops you from spinning and makes you respin again afterwards. So really huge tip here. I've seen many players struggling saying, why is my damage terrible? Why am I sometimes only critting for like 100k on my spins, and the other times it's like 400 to 500k with this no bleed build? That is why, my friends. That is why you are using your buffs while you're spinning, and it's not giving you the bonus because it is snapshotting from whatever you had prior to the spin. So quick video today talking about the tactical nuke that you can do with Ghors. And while this showcase definitely wasn't the greatest and you definitely deserve better, I don't really have any high Nightmare Dungeon maps at the moment, but the results you saw here will be even better for you if you're not just one-shotting everything. Most of the content you're going to do in this game with a class this strong and build this powerful, first of all, you're going to be one-shotting pretty much everything. However, in the scheme of things, eventually you're going to start doing harder and harder content. That's where you can start building up the full 4 seconds of the Earthquake. And the animation is pretty, I mean, look at this. That wasn't it. I mean, you can clearly tell about this animation right here. And you also see the icon there that shows you. That's probably a better way. I like looking at the actual character in case I have to dodge any deadly mechanics here. But if you look right here, you can see 12% multiplicative damage increase. That is the buff you're looking for when you release everything. Can be hard to keep track of if you have all of your buffs here. As you can see, you have a pretty full bar and then just using it last. I mean, I guess it's not the hardest thing to keep track of because there's no tick down dial, so that's a pretty good indicator, right? But this unique is tons of fun to play with. I've had an amazing time with it. Anyone who gets this item with this build, and I'm sure there are other builds where it's good in. Actually, I can't even think of one. Let me know in the comments if there's another build that scales well for Barbarian with Ghors. I would be curious. Maybe I'll test it out. First, I have to get one that's 26%. That is the goal first. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate the support lately. The channel has blown up, and I do appreciate that. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell for my next upload, and I'll see you all in the next video.